hello and good evening, everyone. It's me, Gareth, and we've also got, I believe he's now ready anyway, Edd of Iacon.
Hello.
Hello. I believe he was cutting things fine there.
It's what?
I believe you were cutting things fine there.
No, I've been backstage for the past 15 minutes.
Yeah, but you seem to be rushing around a little bit. No,
what? Moving my microphone.
No. Never mind. How are you?
Rushed, evidently.
Rushed.
Yeah, I'm all right. All right.
Andy is supposed to be joining us, but he's going to be a little late.
Right then.
He's off. I think he's away doing something to do with work.
Yeah.
And he's going to be joining us later. It might even be via his mobile phone as well.
Right, I see.
And we're getting lots of hellos.
Are we?
We are. We're getting hellos.
Who's saying hello? Gap.
Hello, Gap. How are you, sir? Yes, bright yellow t-shirt today. Yes. Like to be careful not to get it marked, because it marks very easily, does this one. Mark says hello. And hello from Benjamin. Yes, I am Yes, I am glimpsed very briefly on the latest Slimehouse TV video. Yes, I saw that. I managed to catch that this morning. We're getting hellos in the chats between everyone as well. Hello, Rolando. And Edd says hello to everybody.
Hello, Edd. What's Slimehouse?
Slimehouse TV. He's a young guy called Theo. He's a toy collector, has been most of his life, and he does videos regarding toys. And he does the trips to the toy fairs and films them as well.
Right.
I think I've been in his last. I've featured in his last 3 Doncaster Toy Fair videos.
All right. Yeah.
Yes. Very, very, very tiny little snippets.
Yeah.
It's not me that features, it's my toys. He's not interested in me.
And why would you?
Exactly. Hang on, let me just...
Was you the seller who told him to piss off?
No, I was not. And you know I wasn't, because you can see quite clearly that it's an old man in the video that tells him to piss off. And I'm getting on a bit now, but I ain't old. I'm fairly sure he doesn't. Rolando's sharing links. Good man, Rolando. Good man. Oh, he's done one for you as well. He's a star, isn't he?
For me?
He's absolutely a star.
Well,
yeah, but that's you. You're special. You get special treatment, Mark. I mean, come and join us on here and we can both tell you to piss off.
Yeah. Why won't he come on? He needs to come on.
He does need to come on. I keep telling him this. I invited him yesterday, but he said no, thank you.
Right.
So hopefully he can come on soon. It's nice to see him in the chat at least.
Indeed.
Yes, it is. Now, I don't know if we should start showing things off or whether or not we wait until Andy turns up, but I don't have any idea when that could be.
Well, how long did he say we're going to be?
He didn't. He just said he might be. Yeah. He would be late. He never said how long.
Right, I see.
So I think we should carry on as normal.
Okay.
And we could. Poor choice of words. We can fill him in when he arrives. Mark says his mum tells him he's special. I'm sure she does, Mark. And I'm sure you are in your own special way. Mark is pissed. Come on. We're negotiating the fee. Is that right?
Hey, what? He wants paying for coming on.
Apparently. Don't give Edd ideas, Mark.
He's got some bloody brass balls.
Well, maybe you'll be able to polish them for him if he comes on.
No, actually, he does actually have brass balls.
To be able to walk around in his Chippendale Rescue Rangers outfit.
Yeah. Mark, did you actually go and watch Indiana Jones dressed up as Indiana Jones?
Yes, he did.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Fuck me.
He works for toys. Give him a toy and he'll work. Packet of crisps and a coffee. He gets a coffee every time he comes to the shop, just like you, Benjamin.
Yeah, but not just that. So he went to Showcase to watch Indiana Jones, dressed as Indiana Jones.
He wants some Lord of the Rings cards.
And then he walked home from the cinema as Indiana Jones.
Yes.
I got to applaud a bloke for that. Stop nicking my jokes, Gaff. When he comes on, he needs to be dressed up, and I'll put me Hawaiian shirt on.
Yes. And I'll have to try and arrange it so that you're side by side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Have you got a bright red Hawaiian shirt with yellow trees on it?
No, but I can soon. I'll order one.
You could even get a red nose as well.
Oh no, they have brown noses, don't they?
No, Chip's got the black nose and Dale's got a shiny red nose.
Has he?
Yes.
Thought that was Rudolph.
Nobody knew any different around it. Well, you know, I can imagine, and I'm not saying this to take the mick at all, far from it, but I can imagine when you're on your way to see the film, you were so excited to see it, you felt brilliant dressed up, and then when you came out being disappointed with the film, I bet you didn't feel quite as brilliant on the way back because you were quite let down by the film, weren't you? Which is, I think a lot of people expected it, but obviously you certainly didn't. Yes, you did pay enough for it. You might as well get some use out of it. Yes, it is cool that he dressed up. Definitely.
I'm taking to the high seas to watch it. I ain't paid.
Pirating. I'm not even going to do that.
I'm going to same with Rise of the Beast. I'm going on the high seas to watch that as well.
Yeah, I don't bother with pirating, you know, because I tend to click on one film to watch and it'll start showing me something else. Whatever it fancies, whatever it wants to show me. So I'll wait until it's on Disney Plus because I already pay for Disney Plus, so I'm not paying any extra for it.
To be fair, I think the way it's going, I don't think it's going to be long till it is on Disney Plus.
No, I think it'll be on there within the next 2, maybe 3 months.
Yeah, I reckon so.
And yeah, Mark says he wants to see it again just to make sure, make his mind up about it. I really love the first 10 minutes. We're talking about toys and cosmic toys. Yes, I know. Well, we're all into the same sort of things, aren't we? It's not just the toys. It's not just the toys, is it? We're all into collecting all sort of things. We're all into pop culture. We're into the films. I mean, obviously we're into the films because we collect the toys based on those films. We're into the comics because we collect the toys that are based on those comics. I was just going to show you something that I plan on showing you later, then, but I won't. we all the expanded media stuff we're interested in because we collect that sort of stuff. Let's see if you get this movie reference. He's just not into you, Gareth. I recognise the line. I can't actually place it, but I do recognise the line. Ed seems confused. Do you know?
No, I'm just reading something over here.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. Right. How's the week been anyway? Have we had any new pickups?
Have I? No, I haven't. No, I haven't actually. No new pickups. I have a couple of stuff on order, but it's not toy related. It's like me related. But no, there's. I have pre-orders in, but it's all for stuff that I don't think is going to be out until. Actually, no. I think one might be out this month, and it's one of the X-Transbots. I think they call it Figurante or something like that. It's one of the Omnibots. I think it's camshaft. Okay. So it's a third-party masterpiece Omnibot camshaft. It's the red Ferrari, the 308 GT, I think it was. I think that's dropping this month. But then all the other pre-orders that I've got are going to be, I think they're all going to be arse end of this year. So, things like the Moderoid DX9, not DX9, Moderoid Big DX from Starfleet. That's due December. The X-Transbots, Translucent Yellow, Magnus. I think that's probably going to be early next year, or it might be this year. I don't know. But yeah. So there's plenty of pre-orders in, but just no that's due yet. I mean, whether or not there's alt that catches my eye in between there that I might pick up, just on a ad hoc basis, I don't know. Notes piqued me interest yet. There were a set of 4 Ghostbusters that I was tempted with, but there's no boxes and they're not complete.
You actually tempted with them?
I am actually, yeah, but they're not complete and there's no packaging. But I mean, if you've read the little review that I've done on them, you'll know. But yeah, no, they're nice. They are nice. I think they would be better if they just had a bit of maybe like a dirt wash, just a slight dirt wash on the overalls.
Right. Okay.
Because they're not quite the right colour. They're a bit. They seem a bit almost luminescent. Rather, in fact, I'll get because I've still got them out here. So just
very clean. Well,
yes.
I was just going to attempt something. Seeing whether I can.
I've got them here.
Share.
Oh, let me
yes, I can indeed. Yes.
So yeah, here we go. So this is Mr. Venkman. Oh,
it's these that he's talking about.
Yes, plasma series
on this wonderful website we've got here.
Yeah, I need to. When I first set it up, I disabled the comments and that on it, for the individual articles.
Right.
And I'll be buggered if I can find where to turn it back on again. So I've no idea, from a comment wise, if people are looking and comment. Well, So I mean, I can track it and track, who's going and visiting and stuff, but not. So I need to look into that and turn comments back on.
Isn't Winston looking the wrong way?
He is, yes.
Everyone else is getting ready to start tackling whatever's in front of them, and Winston's like,
yeah, well, that's the for the cover for the like review banner. I just used a stock Hasbro image.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that what it is? I thought that was one you'd taken, actually.
No, that one's just a stock Hasbro image. The others that I've taken are my photos.
Those ones. She's a very talented gentleman.
Oh, the designer.
You.
Oh, yeah. A point and click.
Point and click.
Got these when they were reduced.
Yeah,
that's Mark. So yeah, so they are nice. They are nice. The likenesses aren't great. They're almost there. But like I say, I think they could probably just do with a dirt wash. I mean, when I say they're not complete, what I mean is that they're not complete in as far as Egon has all his accessories. Venkman has all his accessories. Ray has all his accessories. Winston doesn't. Winston comes with like I don't know if you want to call it a plasma beam or something, from when they're actually activating the proton packs.
Right, okay, yeah.
He doesn't have that. But then obviously they don't have the packaging, but then also none of them come with their Build-A-Figure parts. Because and it was one of the
well, actually they do. I have those at the shop.
Oh, you've got those at the shop, have you?
I didn't think it'd be worth giving you sort of like legs and whatnot when you couldn't do anything with them.
Oh, right. So, but there's no body. There's no body. It's just the legs, is it?
I can't remember which bits it is, but 2 of the bits would have come with Dana and Rosa, and the customer who I bought them off never got those 2 characters because he wasn't interested.
Right. Well, I mean, it's quite possible then that you've got the plasma effect then from
Possibly.
the.
Possibly. It might be in the bag with the.
Yeah.
Legs.
Because, I mean, for the purpose of the photo, I put one of the traps with Winston, but that trap actually comes with Venkman.
Venkman.
Ray, his accessory is just basically his goggles.
Right. Mark's in a good mood. He got some money back from Amazon for his camera today.
Oh, very good.
So he's going to come and spend £64 on Magic the Gathering cards.
And then Iacon comes with his PKE meter.
Make him big so we can see Ed's fig.
It means switch the screen just to me. So if you hover over underneath the main screen, if you hover over where your little picture is, it'll say remove.
Yeah.
That's it. And it just throws it over to me.
But yeah, that removes me from it altogether, and you can't even hear me. It's probably a good thing, to be fair. But
yeah, I
if
think
you're
that's
going to do that, we might as well get rid of Cosmic Council and start doing Vaults of Iacon and just do it on your own. On your own channel.
Someone's a bit tetchy there.
Good evening, Lobot. How are you, sir?
Right, everyone, pile on, Gareth. I think
you're getting off me tomorrow.
Throwing an issy fit. He just wanted to see the figure, that's all.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. The whole point is interacting. Yeah, Mark says he got these when they were reduced.
Doesn't like sharing his toys.
Who doesn't like sharing his toys?
You!
I'm sorry, but whose toys is it you've been taking photos of? The toys you were just holding up.
You brought them.
So I don't mind sharing my toys. All right, okay, you two are chatting with each other. That's fine. Still need Lewis Tully and the other Terror Dog.
Do you need them? Do you need them?
For the other Terror Dog, isn't it just a case of the horns are turned around the other way?
I don't know. I don't know about the figures. I know the film, but I don't know about the figures. I mean, to be fair, when I was looking at those figures, I mean, I could even quite happily just have the three, as in Venkman, Spengler, and Stance.
Right. Okay.
You know, without Winston. As a group, as a core characters in the film, they are. You know, it's the good characters in the film, but really, I suppose, strictly speaking, the Ghostbusters are Venkman, Stance, and Spengler. You know, it's and then Winston turns up, because I think, if I remember correctly, in the original sort of like outline for the script and the story, it was Eddie Murphy that was going to be in it. It was Jim Belushi and Eddie Murphy, but obviously Jim Belushi did a speedball and died, and then Eddie Murphy wasn't happy with certain aspects of the script, I believe, and then he went on and did another. It was either 48 Hours or Beverly Hills Cop. He went on to do instead of Ghostbusters. You know, so and then that were it. I think as well at some point John Candy was attached as well, but he backed out. Oh, that's it. Yeah, John Candy was supposed to play the Lewis Tully character. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, they had him down for Lewis Tully, but then he backed out, and I think he went on to do something else, and that's when Rick Moranis came in. But but what I find interesting is that Bill Murray has been out talking positively about he's involved with the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, now Harold Ramis is dead, you're all eager and giddy kipper and happy to do it. You know, but because apparently that were part of the reason why he held out so long, because him and Harold Ramis had fallen out.
Oh, really?
While they were making Groundhog Day, they'd had a big falling out, and that were one of the reasons why Murray, you know, kept declining to come back for any Ghostbusters sequels or things like that.
Well, he came back in 2016, didn't he?
2016. Why? What happened in 2016?
He threw himself out of a window, didn't he?
I don't know. Did it?
It's quite possible, Gap. Face is red this evening. It could be I started on the room a little bit earlier.
The thing, the one about the thing about the 2016 one, it is shit. It's shite. I mean, I won't make any bones about it. But
it entertained me. I thought it was funny.
But it's like, but I do enjoy Bridesmaids. I do like that film. But his Ghostbusters, you're just like, no, fuck off. It's just like, no. You know, don't if you're gonna do something like what they should have done with that is they should have kept it. I mean, there was a perfect opportunity in the original script for doing that. It could have been a franchise of Ghostbusters. So they could have set it in the same universe as Venkman and all them and had it as a franchise that they'd taken out to deal with whatever in whatever city they wanted to do it in. And I think if they'd have done it that way, people may have been a bit more forgiving of it rather than it being up kind of trying to pass it off as maybe as like a straight up remake or reboot or whatever, you know. But who knows? That's been and gone now. What's Cap saying? He thought 2016 was funny. I mean,
I enjoyed parts of it. I'm not saying I don't think for a second it were a good film, but there's elements of it that entertained me. And yeah, there's bits that I laugh at. I might laugh at it for the wrong reasons, but I laughed at it. I thought Chris Hemsworth was brilliant in that film, even though he was the butt of every joke. I thought it was funny. It's what it was. It's a totally different kind of funny to what the original ones was. But you know, strangely enough, whenever I think of the original Ghostbusters film, the first image that comes to my head has got nothing to do with the ghosts. It's not any of the busters in their outfits. It's literally Bill Murray hopping through the city.
And
doing
the duck walk when he's going to meet Dana.
After she's there with one foot forward, just hopping along. And that's if that's the first memory that comes to my head about the original Ghostbusters. It's a strange one, really.
I mean, the original one is funny. Funny and it's good all throughout the film. Where the 2016 one isn't. It's just like they're just. Yeah,
I think they're two different things. I just think they're two different things. They just happen to share the title.
And elements of the story and elements of the characters and
no, but they're not.
The
they're
car,
not
the backpacks, the suits.
I don't think they're the same thing at all, though. And I don't think they're meant to be. They're supposed to be obviously inspired by Ghostbusters, but it's not supposed to be a continuation in any way, shape, or form.
No, that's what I'm saying though. But it's all like it is. It's
how
it's a
Al
60
Al
or
Pacino
70%
Scarface has got nothing to do with the original version of Scarface. They're two entirely different things. They just happen to be a gangster film.
Yeah,
that's the way I think of those two.
It's an opinion.
If you think they're the same thing, then you're probably giving it more credit than it deserves.
Well, no, it's just it's not a case. It's just that they've just copied it. It's laziness. They've taken something that's far superior and copied it and just tried to inject their own thing into it, and it didn't work. Didn't work, So I mean, it is. I mean, if it's called the same thing, it's called Ghostbusters. You've got a core set of characters of 4. You've got a black character, you've got 3 white characters, you've got one that's into it, you've got one that ain't, you've got the geeky one. It's just it's an inferior carbon copy. It's like ordering Ghostbusters off Wish. But anyway, so what's happening in chat? No,
that's it. We're stuck on Ghostbusters. So, what have you brought to show us anyway this week? Are we showing and telling?
I have brought a recent pickup, some Ghostbuster figures. No, I have stuff. I have stuff here. I do have some stuff to show. What time is it? I mean, I don't know. Do you want to give it another 5-10 minutes for?
Can do, yeah.
For Andy and see if he.
Yes, ordering off Wish.
Yeah.
It's like that Avengers box set that I got, the Young Avengers, New Avengers, whatever it is, Avengers. And it's got Patriot, I think, which is a young rip-off Captain America. It's got Iron Lad, which that literally says it on the can, the literal can, what it is. Hulkling, rip-off of Hulk, and Asgardian, rip-off of Thor. And yeah, it looks like it's when you order an Avengers box set off Wish.
Right.
But it's an official product.
Well, they do. I mean,
talk about what you're looking forward in news, toys, movies, or coming soon. Well, in movies, the things I'm looking forward to most are. There we go. Genuinely, at the moment, there's nothing movie-wise that's appealing to me. I hate to sound so negative. But normally, there's a lot of things that I would be looking forward to, but I think I've just been turned off from all these films now.
I couldn't honestly tell. At one time,
what's coming out? Let's.
At one time, I were always, my finger was on the pulse, if you will. I always knew what were coming out in the cinema and what were on. Like the same, it was the same with the music charts and things like that. But now I don't know. What's that Simpson thing? I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was, and now I'm no longer with it.
Okay, so movies due out. Yesterday we had The Sound of Freedom, Once Upon a Time in Uganda, Bad Girl Boogie, and War Horse 1. I can't say I'm particularly interested in the sound of any of them. Today there's Wham on Netflix and Kizazimoto. That's a series. Is that on Disney Plus?
Hello there, Daz.
Is there any way we can just shift it to movies rather than anything else? Theatres. Right, okay. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. I'm put off that one purely because it's a part 1 of 2. So I'll wait until the second one comes out and watch them both together. Next theatres one. Theatre Camp. I've no idea what that is. Oppenheimer. Okay, Oppenheimer looks interesting. I'll give that a go. It's not something I'll rush to see, though. Barbie. Bearing in mind that my job is running a toy shop and has been for many years, I'm not really interested in seeing the Barbie film.
Well, I don't suppose you tend to sell a lot of Barbies.
No, I stock them. No one buys them.
Right.
Haunted Mansion. I didn't know there was another Haunted Mansion film coming out.
What's that saying? No, Daz was just asking. No, I've not seen Flash yet, but again, that's another one that I'm taking to the high seas to watch. I'm not spending money on cinema tickets and stuff. So, but I mean, but the thing is, though, I mean, there's that. I know you should judge a film yourself from watching it, but there's just that much, negative, maybe off-putting stuff coming out about what these films are like, that it's just like you just think to yourself, why bother? And I just personally think that I don't know. I just think that quality of a lot of movies at the moment is just poor.
Entertaining with dodgy CGI in places. The CGI is the last thing that bothers me, to be honest with you. If they get a decent plot and decent characters, I can take or leave a bit of dodgy CGI. But I'm going to hazard a guess that, like many modern films, there's going to be not very good characters and not very great plot. Although maybe the Flash is supposed to be quite good, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't
know. I've heard mixed to negative about. I've heard mixed to negative responses about.
I'm holding off. I'm not putting money into something that supports Ezra Miller.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I don't get. You've got the way he's carried on and the stuff that he's. the stuff that he's been up to in his personal life. If I was an actor acting in a film with him, I'd be like, no, get bent. You know, I'm not sort of like, why would you work, you know, with someone like that who's done the things that he's alleged to have done, you know, in his personal life?
Well, the work was already done before the film was released, wasn't it? But,
Oh, no,
yeah, the
it's
work
about
on the
2
film
years
was already
ago.
done before all the bad actions were done by him.
Yeah, but I think some would before as well, though. I mean, I think the film's been done about 18 months, I think, maybe 2 years since the
I'm going
film.
to say, I think it's closer to 2 years. I think it's closer
Hmm.
to 2 years. There were one thing that he did, which was strangling a fan in a photo, and it's one of those things that when you watch the footage, it could quite easily be him strangling someone, or it could be a laugh and a joke. And we never really knew. There was never an apology made or anything like that. But obviously, with everything that's happened since in his behaviour, it's probably likely that he did try and strangle that fan.
Yeah.
But at the time, no one knew. It's just, you know, hindsight's 2020, isn't it?
If your eyesight's good, it could be 60-40.
It could be.
What's Lobot said? Yeah, Barry Norman. Yes, I do miss Barry Norman. I used to watch his. I used to watch that religiously. Film.
I don't know. How's it not making 100 million yet, though? Fairly sure.
Well, I don't know.
As of 4 hours ago, it had made 101 million in the States, another 146 million from international territories. So it's at 247 million, isn't it? But yeah, I think it's a tough one for Warner Brothers with Ezra Miller. When the film's about to come out, they can't just sack him publicly, can they? They've got a film.
The thing what they kept him hidden from the press and media on the run, you know, for the promoting of the film.
Well, they only released him, didn't they, for the
red carpet
itself.
Yeah, and it was like, don't speak, don't look at anyone. It's like, you know, so they obviously don't have any faith in him, you know, and it's.
Well, I'm pretty sure that as the hype, what hype there is, dies down for The Flash, and there's talk of a sequel, it's going to be a case of, we're moving forward with The Flash 2, but I'm afraid that we'll be taking on this new person as Barry Allen. That said, if they're supposed to be rebooting the universe, do they really need to make Flash 2? And do they need to explain why it's a different actor if there is?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's where I don't get about this whole thing that James Gunn is doing. It's like, so James Gunn has come into it. He's got rid of Cavill. He's got rid of Ben Affleck. There's still a question mark on Gal Gadot with regards to Wonder Woman. There's still a question mark on Momoa regarding Aquaman. He's keeping James Gunn, not James Gunn, he's keeping John Cena for Peacemaker. So Peacemaker's staying as it is. The Suicide Squad with Margot Robbie and that lot, they're all staying as it is. So it's like, you know, make your mind up. You know, you can't just, if you're rebooting the universe, you can't, you know, technically you shouldn't be picking and choosing. Well, no, we know why he is, because the bits that his brothers, families, and his wife's star and acting, you know. So it just seems a bit senseless to reboot the main franchise but keep aspects and elements of the older franchise. You know, when you change stuff up. And I mean, I don't know if you're going to use the excuse of, well, the Flash movie changes stuff. Well, it's like, right, okay, well, if the Flash movie changes stuff, that means your new Batman is now George Clooney.
Yes.
And it's like, but you're actively searching for a new actor to take over as Batman for going forward, but yet you're also keeping Robert Pattinson for his version of the Batman.
What baffles me is they've publicly said that they're using this Flash film to reboot the universe. it's a multiverse film, so they're establishing that multiverses exist.
Hmm.
And they're starting off with those multiverses by sacking all the people from the previous ones.
Hmm.
If multiverses exist, why can't we have a Henry Cavill Superman? Why can't we have a Ben Affleck Batman? Why can't we have a Michael Keaton Batman? Especially if we're moving forward with continuing to move forward with Robert Pattinson's Batman. You're continuing multiverses doing that. So why can't we continue all of them?
But unless going forward they decide to say, right, okay, well, at the end of the Flash movie, that particular Barry Allen is stuck in that one multiverse, which isn't the new universe going forward. So that could also help them explain why they've recast the Flash, and then they've recast all the other characters. But then it doesn't explain why they haven't recast John Cena as Peacemaker.
That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah,
that would be an interesting one.
He might need one if he's had a jab. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, ultimately, it's a funny thing because we're talking about it, but if I'm honest, I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
I really don't care.
Over the hill and past it with them. We've got someone waiting to enter the council.
Has he finally made it, has he?
It appears that he's made it into studio. I'm giving him a few moments to set up, so I'll wait until he gives me a big thumbs up before...
Yeah, I'm just answering Daz's question. Yeah, I suspect there won't be a Flash 2, Daz, as well. I think financially it won't warrant it. I just think they'll think, right, okay, there's no point.
Ed's already answering you there.
Yeah.
I keep hearing this. They should have used Grant Gustin from the TV show Flash. He's had 9 years as a crack at this. Let someone else have a go. He was good, don't get me wrong, but yeah, he's had his run, no pun intended.
I mean, I think Gunn has the potential to do some good stuff with it if he's left alone to do it. The thing about I said from day one.
Hello, Ken.
Hello there. I said from day one with the DCU and that they were trying. They came into it too late. The genie were out of the bottle, if you will, with what Marvel had done. They came to it too late and they tried to copy Marvel. And they shouldn't have done that. They should have done their own thing. Yeah. Definitely. DC, I mean, I don't know a lot about the differences between DC and Marvel. It's not my kind of thing. It used to be, but I'm well out of touch with it. DC was always a bit more grown up and a bit darker than Marvel. That's the way I perceived it when I used to read the stuff, yeah? And that's what they should have done. They should have gone down that route, you know. But
you never read Brave and the Bold, did you?
Brave and the Bold? I used to watch the cartoon with my son.
There's certain elements of DC that are a bit more grown up. And there's other elements that are far, far from it.
But I would say that the main line of it is more serious.
Again, some of the characters in the main line, not at all. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. And they do interact with some of the wacky characters and the wacky storylines. They do interact with the more serious and darker aspects of it as well. I think people just tend to ignore it, though.
Well, I can only go off what I used to read. I mean, I'm talking about, you know, storylines like Penguin Affair. You know, Penguin Affair and things like, you know, Killing Joke and some of the older... I mean, I'm talking about maybe some of the late 70s, early 80s or mid-80s storylines and the particular comics that I picked up and read. They didn't tend to be, you know, silly or jokey kind of thing, you know. Wolfram, Aparo and DeCarlo, it tended to be their stories that I were reading. But anyway, we'll see what happens with it. I think, like I say, I think
you pick your time, Zelda. You really do. You say hello.
personally, I mean, if it was me, I'd maybe give the whole superhero film thing a bit of a rest for a few years.
Yeah, I think it needs resting, all of it. I really do.
You've had too much. Quality's going down. Writing quality's going down. There's too much self-insert and agenda-driven storylines, and people trying to make points, and it's just like, just write a good story. Write a good story with good characters, and people come and watch your films.
I tell you, the Korean stuff is the way to go.
Maybe.
So why have we switched over to history, Mark? Why have we switched over to mystery? They need to do one-off superhero movies until they get it right. That's probably a good idea, but give it a rest. 4 or 5 a year we're looking at with some now, aren't we?
But like I said, I mean, I think they need to. They could maybe do with making the mind up about what direction they're going. I've been talking about Warner Brothers here. Are you going in the direction of the standalone, not connected films like with Pattinson and with Joaquin Phoenix as Joker? Which, I mean, the Joker sequel, I don't think I'm not looking forward to that, because it's like a musical with Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. It's just like, no, go away, But it's like I read the other day, apparently there's an episode of Strange New Worlds coming up that's going to be a musical episode. And it's like, what, a musical episode in Star Trek?
Really?
No. Get back in the fucking sea. Just...
Well, let's face it, Star Trek's been making a lot of mistakes lately.
Yes, they have. Yeah. It's...
Flash movie.
I mean, I've not watched the episode yet, but I do want to watch the episode that they go back in time and they change the history of Khan Noonien Singh.
All right, they're changing the history of Khan.
Yes, he's no longer. He's now a child in 2023 instead of actually being part of the the order that took over in the 90s.
Okay. I think we have somebody ready to join us. So, yes. Hello. Here's Andy.
Hello.
Greetings, Trekkies.
Oh, wow, you're loud.
Nanu.
Nanu.
Broadcasting live from Workshop.
Workshop? Okay.
Oh, you poor bugger.
So
nice curtains.
Nice curtains.
No, I like the curtains. So, do you have anything to show and tell with you? Other than...
I do, sir.
You do?
Really?
I do.
Like,
you brought things with you.
Premiering...
You are dedicated. Round of applause to that man.
I'm prepared, me.
You are
right, then. Well, you
dedicated.
can go first then. Go on. Get on with it.
Okay. All right, then. Well, good open, given what you were just chatting about with a dinky era Klingon D7.
Okay, that's dinky, is it? I've not seen a dinky one of those.
No, I know. I didn't know they existed
dinky,
until I was hunting for stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's quite large. I mean, I know it's difficult to judge scale, but it's bigger, for example, than this chap.
Oh.
This is the Corgi Klingon D7.
Yeah.
Which is the one I had when I was little. Because they have these very distinctive
they
caves
came
on the wings. But this one's much bigger, see?
Yeah. They came on the blistered cards, didn't they? For the Wrath of Khan or Search for Spock.
The weird thing is, I think they actually came with Wrath of Khan, and I remember saying this to somebody. I said, "Why on earth was this in Wrath of Khan packaging?" And they pointed out that in the Kobayashi Maru simulation, these guys turn up. So it's the one time they're on screen in Star Trek 2. So there is a justification for their being toys of them for Star Trek 2.
Yeah, but it's reused footage from the motion picture when they're approaching Vija Cloud.
Vija, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So a bit of a cheat, really, but yes, but they are in it. So
yeah. The no-win scenario.
Indeed, unless you cheat. Yes.
Unless you cheat. Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm. They got commendation for original thinking.
In that universe, yes.
Yes. Not in the other one.
No, in
will
Abrams,
not
he got
speak of
smacked
that
down.
We will not speak of that other universe.
No, fair enough.
I don't know which
Right,
one
so is there out to tell us about that then? To complement your D7?
Well, apart from the fact that I didn't know that Dinky'd ever made, I think the Dinky one, and you can see this emblazoned there, because I keep having to remind myself who made it, because I think this was one of the last ever Dinky releases. This is 79.
Right.
Time stamped. And I don't think it ever got, I was grabbing some of the Dinky catalogues at one point, and I don't think it ever actually entered the Dinky catalogues. It was so late.
Right.
So they did a really big version and a big enterprise. And they also did, I'm going to run out of things to show and tell you if I keep doing this, but we also had this Dinky Enterprise, which is the obviously the refit Star Trek 2 sort of era Enterprise, because it's got absolutely no letters after the registering. But they obviously sort of released these right towards the end of the time when they were still living, basically, as a company. But with very little fanfare.
If their date stamped 79, they will have been designed and produced for the motion picture. But it sounds like they were maybe held over and released, like you say, on the Rapican packaging.
Yeah, maybe. So that was that. I mean, it looks as if I don't know whether I'm missing something on the back of this one. It looks like there might have been something plugged into this little hole here. I don't know, but that's the version of it that I have anyway. But as I say, substantially bigger than these ones, which was one of my go-to toys when I was little. This isn't my original one, but it's actually in remarkably nice condition. Stickers are very, very clean on it, so I was quite pleased to get hold of that.
They seem to have gone for the blue colour scheme as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. It's a curious one, isn't it? It's like they did with Thunderbird 2. It's like, let's have a blue Thunderbird 2 for no apparent reason. It's like,
Yeah, well, we talked about that when we did Collector's Archive, that I had a blue Thunderbird 2 with red legs. You know, it's like, why is it blue? You know? But,
black and white TVs.
You what, sorry?
Because of black and white TVs.
Well, I think the idea was they were trying to jazz it up and make it look more exciting as a toy, yes. But it could just be green.
Yeah.
The blue one was released before.
It was the very first version.
Before they changed it to green, and at the time everyone had black and white TVs, so it didn't particularly matter what colour the model was. And it wasn't until later, when more people started getting colour TVs, they changed it to green. Because I believe they received some complaints.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know if that was the reason, you know, or if it was just a case of, was it a mistake, or was it actually specifically, you know, design choice? You know,
like what Mark just said.
Well,
the only bit they had.
Well, it's possible. It's always possible. After things have happened.
They just they had a couple of tins of dual looks in back at warehouses. We'll just use that. That'll be right.
They had the pinks for the Fab one.
Yeah.
They had all the other colours for all the other models, but when it came to Thunderbird 2, oh no, we've got no left. We'll just have to use this metallic blue.
You never know.
I was just texting a reply. Yes, Daz, I did. I saw that a while back.
Yes. You told me about that the other day. That one.
Yeah.
I might have mentioned it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Gareth prodded me on it, but I'd already heard mutterings about it. But yeah, we'll see. I'm sure they'll be nice, but I want an articulated version.
Did you see my comment on his video? His responses to your questions were like time stamping me as an individual when he was chatting about stuff. It was quite funny that. It's like, it's definitely my era. I can tell.
Yeah.
Bought a job lot of what?
But no, I would think, Daz, that I'd probably more than likely pick them up. I think if I'm being honest with myself and you, I think I probably will pick them up. But it'll be something that I think they'll stay on the card. They won't be bust open. I mean, the chances of them ever doing something like a 6-inch, figure or something like that of those characters, I think are pretty slim. I mean, I did get a bit excited a few weeks ago when I saw a 6-inch Ken, or should I say Mark, from Gotchman from Battle of the Planets. But then I quickly, that excitement was quickly dulled when I saw how much that they're wanting for it. I think it's something like 90 or £100.
I was this close on Sunday at Doncaster to buying a set of 3 of those Diamond Select
all right.
Battle of the Planets figures that you've got hanging on the other side of the wall there.
Yes, over here, yeah.
Yeah, I was very, very close to buying them. Someone had all 3 of them sealed on packet, on card, stacked together, but with elastic bands holding the packages together. Blisters had really badly yellowed. They were crushed. Backing cards were torn and everything, and they wanted 55 quid for the 3. And I was like, they don't pop up very often, don't they? That's for loose figures. That's probably still a fair price.
It's that thing, isn't it? It's like sort of, it's the price, but is this the last time I'll ever see them? It's that calculation you make in your head, isn't it? In that instant.
I mean, the only one I don't have out of that lot is Zoltar. I did have him, but I sold it years back. All right, NECA. We'll see what they do then. We'll see. I'm a bit 50-50 on NECA. Some stuff they do I like. I mean, the NECA Robocops, they don't butter me muffin, I'm afraid, because they never seem to get the facial features right.
Which is saying something, considering he's only got half a face.
No, but they're doing with with the mask off, with the helmet off, and it's just like they just. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to. And then the Medicom ones. I did used to have the Medicom dolls. They just did Mark and Jason on the Medicom, 12-inch. It came in like a tall blue packet with a full length window. I did have them, but they've gone as well. But it will be nice, nice to if NECA do them, then I'll check them out, see what they're like. But so right, Gareth, what you got to show?
Oh, did you notice that I was getting something ready?
I may have seen a reflection in your cabinet doors.
Oh, did you? Did you now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a set of 3 figures, and what prompted me to pick these was actually one of Andy's videos.
Do tell.
Because you showed one of these off in one of your videos, and I believe the plastic had yellowed a little bit.
Oh, he's gone Borg on us.
He knows exactly which I mean. Yeah, I got these when they first came out. And I was so gutted that Wave 2 never came. But yes, I have. The Star Trek Borg A Simulation by Art Asylum. It came out in 2002.
Okay.
And I thought they were fantastic. You got the Klingon. You got the Herosian. And you got the Cardassian.
Cardassian. I was going to say it was Cardassian, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just a case either of them being lazy and just giving you 3 of the same figure with different heads. They are all indeed completely different sculpts on the body and on the arms and on the legs. And I think the fact that they did this on something that was so niche back in 2002, when for the rest of their line, it was literally all your Star Trek characters from the bridge crew wearing the same outfits, just molded in different coloured plastic, and just a different head on every figure.
I do love their bird of prey that I've got.
Yes.
It's a ridiculously enormous thing. But it's got articulated wings, and it is lovely, lovely. Which I got from a certain person not a million miles from here, as I recall.
No. That is Art Asylum, but it's after they were bought out by Diamond.
Yes,
So
yes, it was
that's the Diamond
Diamond
Select
Art,
thing.
wasn't it?
This is before then. So
Okay.
this is when Art Asylum was Art Asylum. I mean, they've now. There were also a connection with Gentle Giant, who used to do the 1/6 scale busts and statues and whatnot. Gentle Giant used to do the sculpting for Art Asylum, I believe. Well, now, cheeky, very cheeky. I'll leave with that one up. And what was I saying? Gentle Giant used to do the sculpting for Art Asylum, but now, strangely enough, Gentle Giant has also been bought out by Diamond Select. So Diamond Select own Gentle Giant, who used to do the sculpting for Art Asylum, who they also own.
Right.
It's all now under one big umbrella. But yeah,
it was funny, because at one point I remember I was trying to get some Star Trek ships of some friends of mine, and it must have been probably very late 90s, and there was nothing available. It was bizarre. It was like no one had anything available to buy. I ended up getting little tiny. I can't remember who made them now. It was a Japanese manufacturer. They were like candy toy sized, ships. That was kind of all that was available. It was crazy. It went into this complete sort of grey blackout zone when it was just, there were no toys available for Star Trek, it seemed, when it was in that sort of, I can't remember which period it was, I think it must have been post Next Generation.
Right.
When they just kind of stopped, and there were no kind of live Star Trek series for the first time in God knows how long,
Well, that would probably be post Voyager, wouldn't it? Because I know that
Playmates, it must have been. It must have been post Voyager, before Enterprise.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think one of their first lines was for Enterprise. Art Asylum.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think that was one of their first lines, and they weren't very good figures at all. They weren't very nice. They had this. It was like a skeletal body, plastic molded legs, plastic molded arms, but then sort of like from there down to the knees, they had a rubber thing over them so that you could twist them and pose them, and there would be no joint lines. Yeah, and because they were all wearing overalls, weren't they, for the Enterprise crew? They just had blue overalls. That was their uniform, like a bit like the Michael Myers boiler suit. And yeah, they were terrible figures for those. Terrible. The faces were good. I'll give them that. But I mean, you can see the quality of the face sculpts.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, mine's got very yellowy packaging, so kind of hard to peer into it. But yes.
How come there wasn't a Borg King? She was trying to get Locutus to be her king. Well, that's retroactively being fitted in, hasn't it? The whole Locutus. At the time, there wasn't a Borg Queen when they did Locutus. Was there?
No, because Locutus was only ever intended to be a spokes individual, so to speak. There was never it was just the collective back then. I don't think we saw a queen until
First Contact,
I guess. But was that pre or post Voyager? I don't think Voyager had met the Borg by then, had it? Because that came later in Voyager's timeline, in terms of them actually meeting the Borg in the Delta Quadrant.
Delta? Because it was a different actress that played the Borg Queen when she first appeared in Voyager.
Yeah.
Alice Creed didn't.
Alice Creed, yeah.
She didn't come to play the Borg Queen in Voyager, I think, until the finale. I think it was the Voyager finale. She came back for it, but no, I'd have preferred if they'd have kept the Borg unique rather than introducing a queen. Because you introduce a queen and then it's just a case of, oh, well, you've just made them like bees then, haven't you?
Well, it's not just that. It also gives them a single point of failure as well. Because if the queen's coordinating it all, you take out the queen, you take out the Borg. It's back off, It's like, they were properly scary when, and this is, there's countless videos on this, but when they were first introduced, It's like, how the hell do you kill off something that just grows another arm when you chop one off? It's just, you know, incredibly. They were incredibly hardcore when Q brought them in.
I did quite like that aspect of them killing off the Borg Queen in First Contact, and then she later turned up in Voyager because her mind can teleport or whatever anywhere throughout the Borg network, and she's got backup bodies at every different point throughout the galaxy. I think that's quite a clever. In the next, I think that's quite a clever way to carry it to immortal, and then they go and did what they did with her in Picard.
The thing is, though, they didn't really work with what they did with her in First Contact, in the sense that in Picard, I think she was shown as having a very, very long range emergency transporter that she could use. Whereas in First Contact, she clearly died physically on the Enterprise. Of course, she didn't have access to that because the cube had gone bye-bye. So, you know, unless, as you say, you know, she simply had, you know, Borg clones of herself on ice ready to be activated. But I suspect that's different to the canon in the books. I believe there's a whole series in the books where they delve into the origins of the Borg and the end of the Borg as well.
Right, I've read a few Star Trek novels, but I've never read a Borg one.
No, I've never read that series. I have read some. I've read things like Vendetta, where it's quite funny in that because they've sort of assimilated a Ferengi, so that Borg bargains with you to try and get you assimilated, which is quite entertaining.
But I mean but you see, that also brings up a plot hole as well, because if you accept the fact that the Borg Queen was killed in First Contact, but then you write a story saying, oh, well, maybe it's backup so she can transfer her consciousness or whatever. It's like, well, okay, if it's a backup, then it's not technically her from First Contact. You know, it's a different consciousness. And also, that Borg Queen would have no memory of what happened with Picard on the Enterprise in First Contact, unless they backed up at that moment that she died. So then when she turns up and goes, oh, it's Locutus, it's Picard, it's like, well, I have no memory of that kind of thing, you know. So, but obviously that's thinking about it far too much.
Yeah.
Well, no, but you could work around that, because in Enterprise they find First Contact era Borg drones that get resurrected, and they broadcast towards Borg space at a time before Next Generation. So in theory, there could have been some sort of upload of future knowledge at that point in the past.
Yeah.
Which in theory you would think would actually make them completely unstoppable when we do meet them, because they already know what our tech is. But anyway.
Yeah, and also it'd be a case of, oh, when Picard comes on ship and he's trying to distract you, jump to avoid the plasma. So just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it for what it is.
But those Art Asylum figures, though, they do look nice, but they look quite stylized, and they all look quite jacked up. You know, kind of like, you know, quite beefy, muscular.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the Herodian and the Klingon could justifiably be beefy, muscular, because they probably would be warrior class drones by their natural physiology. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I just want to know which idiot Herodian went hunting a Borg in the first place to get himself assimilated. He's like,
oh, there were Borg up there, weren't there?
The first rule of Herodian hunting is do not hunt the Borg. The second rule of Herodian hunting is do not hunt the bloody Borg.
That's like the Picard, let's hug it out. So
can't see any messages, so I'm completely blind on what people are saying.
Oh, can you not?
No, well, I'm on a teeny tiny mobile screen, don't forget.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he's talking about the finale to Picard, you know, where he brings him back with a hug. It's like, you know, because feelings, you know.
Well, it's 2023. You can do that kind of thing.
Of course.
I have a question on that. Isn't Picard the positronic Picard at that point?
Yeah.
So how come he manages to just randomly plug himself into the Borg network and sort of link up with his son and sort of, you know, because isn't the Borg network designed to plug into organic brains rather than positronic brains, or does he just hack them basically?
Well, they do kind of take over Data in a certain respect in First Contact, because the Borg Queen is able to switch his emotions on and off in First Contact, and he has a positronic brain. But I mean, to be fair, I mean there's part of the storylines in the Picard season 3 which kind of retcon some of the original, ideas from the original stories. It's like making this thing that Picard has passed his Borgness on to his son. It's like, how does that work? Oh, so now the biomechanical, not just mechanical, But then you've also factored in as well. You've got to think about the age and biology, and when you work it out, how old Picard and Beverly was when they got it on and conceived the son. It's like, firstly, and then secondly, it's like, Beverly would have been pushing 60 and Picard would have been like in his mid to late 70s.
But it's the future. Everyone works better later. It's fine.
My problem with the whole Picard positronic body and everything, it's like, why is he huffing and puffing in every scene then?
Well, they said that,
didn't they? Every time he gets up from the chair, he's like,
Yeah, but I think at the end of was it season 1 of Picard when he got his upgrade, they did say that they weren't going to give him like an uber super body because that wasn't what he wanted. So they basically programmed him to act like he's his actual age rather than being, sort of the $6 million man and sort of leaping tall buildings in a single bound. I would have gone for that personally. You think you'd have some sort of boost button in case of emergency, so you can just kind of sort of, go into sort of Superman mode if he needs to, because that would be kind of handy.
I think it was a downright mistake to kill Picard off if they wanted to do another series anyway.
Well, but can I just say, Gap has brought up an interesting point, and that would have solved a lot of things about Q making Picard human again.
Yes.
You could have Q pop in and say, "Ha, Mon Capitan, you're not getting off that easy." Click and made him human again, and it's like,
well, I wouldn't mind if Q wasn't in the next canonical scene that we saw.
What do you mean? The post-credit scene thing?
No, but Picard dies at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
And he's put into a positronic body. Beginning of season 2, Q turns up and says, "Oh, let me catch up with you." No, and even references to him, "Oh, that's a positronic body," or something along those lines. Like, what? Yes, exactly. We've all said it. Why didn't they just have him click his fingers and do what we all thought that he would do in the first place?
Yeah.
Unless they were trying to, what's the phrase? Regarding expectations, the Ryan Johnson thing.
Subvert
our expectations. Oh, they all expect us to do that, so we won't.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm sure Picard was fully functional.
He's like, I'm going to have fun simulating.
In multiple techniques as well.
Hello, Waffler. How are you? I believe we're all good.
Not too shabby.
So what are you going to show and tell us about, Eddie?
Well. What can I show?
Is it going to be a different coloured spectrum? Is it going to be...
no. There happens to...
I'd spotted it. And here's the toast rack.
Yeah, no, the toast rack's in its box. Okay. And that's where it's staying. Right, I have got to show you.
And mute. I loved that when I was little.
Did I actually spoil this earlier then?
You what, sorry?
Did I spoil this earlier?
No. I found it quite humorous. I thought that because you had no idea that I was going to show these, and I just thought, right, I'm just going to let this play out. I'm just going to let this go.
The irony as well. Set of three.
No, I've got 5.
You've got 5, haven't you? Yes.
Yeah, I've got the full
first
set.
Wave that was 3, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
I've got the
you've
full
got the
set,
rest.
but I'm only going to show the 2 because I didn't want to pull the others off the wall.
Okay.
So in to be balanced, I've got Ken and John. Well, sorry, Princess and Mark. Yeah, Battle of the Planets is possibly my favourite cartoon ever. Really fond memories of watching that as a kid. Always wanted toys of it when I was a kid. I managed to get, well, the only one really that I remember that you could get over here, apart from the separating 5 one that you could get,
Yes.
which never appeared in the cartoon. It was just the God Phoenix, which was like the I believe in the cartoon canon, but not the American series.
It's God Phoenix 2, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, the first one got destroyed, and then they made the God Phoenix 2, and that looked actually like a bird. And that's the one that I had the toy of. And it came with really tiny yellow.
Yes, it did. I had one.
Yeah. So
Teeny, tiny little yellow little plastic things that went in the slots.
Yeah, and Jason's car went in the front, and then the back is where Mark's jet went in, and then you had Keop's buggy and Princess's motorcycle in either side of the wings. And Tiny was always left with the Phoenix, which isn't a bad thing to be left with. What's he doing?
He's making us bigger.
He's making
you bigger.
Making himself bigger.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, can I not make either of you bigger?
Well, can you not sort of focus on one of us or something? Or make one of us primary or something? I don't know. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
There we
go, Gap.
Cool.
It shows the reflections. But yeah, so that's Mark. Unfortunately, his bubble has now just started to tinge a little.
That's a shame.
And who made that one?
These are Diamond.
I was going to say, do you know why I said that? Because it immediately reminded me of my black hole figures.
Right. Yeah.
For some reason.
I mean, they're really nicely sculpted and they look nice, but the articulation on them is atrocious. They don't have good articulation. I believe the legs swivel a bit, and the arms bend at the shoulder and the elbow, and the head rotates slightly, and that's it really. But I can't see me ever taking these out of the box. When did they come out? It's like 20 years, I think these have been out. 2002. I haven't got my readers.
They were busy that year, weren't they? That God Phoenix 2 is worth a shed load. Be careful with it. I've seen them on eBay.
What's that? God Phoenix 2 from Oxfam.
Sorry,
that's
Andy.
Crazy.
What did you say?
So I was saying that about this comment in the chat that God Phoenix 2, you'll be really careful because they're worth a shed load on eBay.
Right.
I don't know why, because clearly you and I picked them up at normal shops back in the day, but obviously they've appreciated over time, I guess.
Yeah. And then we've got Princess. Her bubble has yellowed. I mean, it doesn't really show it up that much here on the video, but it has yellowed. But yeah, Battle of the Planets. I've got they started releasing them on DVD years ago, and I picked up the first 2 volumes. But I never managed to get my hands on the box set. They did a box set playback. Did a box set of all 80 episodes of the American series, but I never managed to pick it up back in the day. And now it's a bit like hen's teeth at the moment now, where when they do come up, they are quite pricey. But it doesn't matter because I've downloaded them all off the web anyway, all the episodes. So I've got a pen drive with all the episodes on, so whenever I want to watch them, I can just plug it in and watch away, and I'm happy enough. Very
cool. Now, question, remind me, what's the difference between G-Force and Battle of the Planets?
Well, it's Science Team Gatchaman.
Is it Japanese original? Yeah.
Yeah, is the Japanese that Gatchaman. That's the original, and then Battle of the Planets is when it was brought over to Sandy Frank. Yeah. So what they did was they kind of all the gritty violence and mature storyline aspects was cut out. That's why he had Zark 7. He was introduced. He was put in there to fill the gaps of where they'd cut stuff out.
And apparently they also wanted to make it that they were actually going to different planets. So
Yes.
apparently he was to cover that aspect of it as well. So even though they were always fighting on Earth, the Battle of the Planets was to make it look as if they were going off world. So yeah.
And then also I think in the original Gotcha Man, they were all I think they were all genetically engineered. Where I think in Battle of the Planets it's only Keop that's genetically engineered. But he went wrong, if you will. His genetic engineering went wrong. That's why he talks like he does, and he's a bit smaller than the other ones.
So, but what was the G-force variant of it then? Do you remember?
It was just a different name because you had Battle of the Planets, you had Gotchamon, and then I think for some of the DVD or video releases, I think it was called G-force. I think, but it was also called G-force as well in Battle of the Planets. You know, they would be referred to as G-force in there in Battle of the Planets.
Yes.
You know, always five, acting as one. You know, inseparable, invincible. You know, all that kind of thing. But yeah, indeed. So yeah, a lot of fond memories of that. It's my favourite thing. I've got all the comics that I think it was Top Cow that did them. I've got all the comics. Yes. And I've got some of the manga comics that Top Cow released as well. You know, the manga stories that they did. So
I think I've got one Top Cow comic somewhere, possibly a little collected one or something. But I remember being annoyed by it because it kept on, sort of, the pages kept coming off the spine.
Right.
I remember being unimpressed by the build quality of said book.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, mine are. I've got a few comic boxes down here, and all the comics and stuff like that are in there. But yeah, so yeah, that's my first show and tell, my Battle of the Planets figures.
Okay.
So it's you again, Andy.
Well, before we do, let's go through a few comments.
All right, okay, yeah.
People are getting left behind. The Mass Figure Collectors has joined us. He said hello earlier, and he's saying that he's in the middle of writing his first comic book at the moment, which is interesting. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit more about it in the chat. And Daz was also telling us that Battle of the Planets is the heavily edited version without the violence.
Yeah.
Which is typical, isn't it, due to censorship? And that there had been multiple Gatchaman series since.
That's where that 5-part ship comes from. I think that was... I want to call it a Spartan, and I don't know why.
When it was all assembled, it looked pretty much like a spearhead. It was like it was just pointed dagger.
Yes, it was. I remember. Yeah, I remember. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
a bit random, but you know.
Yeah, because I remember seeing that on the toy shelves back in the day, along with the Ulysses vehicle, which was like the pointy bit at the front, the disc bit in the middle, and then the star drive bit at the back. Never saw the Odyssey.
No, never saw any of them, but yeah.
But I do remember seeing that one on the shelves over here, and that would have been around about the same time as you saw all like the Terrahawk stuff as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember one episode of Battle of the Planets that really sort of stuck with me. That I think I found quite disturbing at the time. When I think one of the characters got stuck inside some sort of planet, and they were going to have to sort of firebomb all of them in order to get rid of them. But the character was still trapped inside one of them. And they were like running out of time to sort of, you know, either free them or just kind of blast the whole lot. So, I remember, I think even then, you know, even though they edited it down, I suspect a lot of the storylines were probably still quite dark like that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I remember the one that, I mean, there's a few episodes that stand out for me, but I mean, like the Space Terrapin one and things like that. But I always remember as a kid thinking it looked a bit like, you know, a bit horrific, was the Space Mummy episode. And it was just literally a giant mummy, you know, looked like a mummy. And this, I mean, it was a robot kind of thing. It had these like, this really manky, gnarly bandages and these like red eyes and this like scream kind of thing, you know. But, you know, those crazy jeps, you know, it's like, you know, the stuff that they write and make and that, you know, so.
Oh, Waffler's asking, are there still some collectibles that we want, that we've wanted for a long time that we still haven't been able to get?
There are bits and bobs. I'd quite like to get a product Enterprise Eagle at some point from Space 1999, because I have others and I know that they do look quite tasty, but they're also quite expensive. So I haven't yet forked out for one of those, but they do look very, very nice.
Yeah. I quite like the look of their
missing a back
Stingray as
copter
well.
still.
Corgi.
Yeah.
Corgi.
I've randomly managed to pick up a nice sort of example of the boat, and the trailer for the boat. And I even got a bat cycle randomly the other day as well. But I think the copter is the bigger copter. You know, is perhaps the one I'm missing from that little sort of sub collection, if you like.
Hmm. Oh, for me, I think there's quite a lot of stuff. I mean, I think I've mentioned this before. It would be stuff from my earlier childhood that I'd like to have back. You know, things like there would be, excuse me, excuse me. There would be things like the Eagles from Space 1999. I'd like to have them back, but I'd like to have the ones I had as a kid. So I'd like a white one, a blue one, and a green one. I'd like to have a Buck Rogers Starfighter. There'd be a shuttle from Moonraker. There'd be a Liberator from Blake 7. There'd be well, we have talked about this. There'd be the red talking Dalek. There'd be a talking R2D2. You know, for the Palatoy ones. There's lots of stuff that I would like, but it's space, it's money, and it's time. You know, and it's just that's the boy. That's the one there. Yeah. So it's the kind of thing where at the moment I'm happy to just remember them fondly until a time comes where I could have them back again. You know, I mean, it's not collectible as such, but one thing I would like to have back is a car. I would love to have my old Volvo 480 back. I'd love to have that back, but it's languishing in a scrapyard in Scotland somewhere now, is that?
The yellow one?
Yes, the yellow one, yes. Yeah, my yellow Volvo. I had a Volvo 480. I've had about 5 of them over the years. And the last one that I had, excuse me, was a 2-litre, yes. And I had it sprayed 1974 Ford Mexico yellow. And it looked beautiful. It was a thing of beauty, it was. But when we had children and stuff like that, it became a bit impractical because it's a 2+2. There was just like 2 seats in the back with a centre column down the middle. So it became a bit impractical. So it had to go, sadly. But yeah, that's me. How about you, Gareth?
Me? There's all sorts of things. I mean, I mentioned in your collector's archive the I have no idea what the hell I would do with it. The 60s Dalek playsuit.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
It's still there. Right. Don't know what the hell I'd do with it. Could you imagine it on my head? It'd go down to my waist. We mentioned, I think we had a similar question in our last episode, and Ed brought up a teddy bear of his, and that has planted very firmly my teddy bear, AG Bear, into my head. And I've been looking for it, and the same one is not popping up anywhere. I'd quite like to get that back. There's nothing. I keep seeing things that I
didn't. You have to take tablets for that.
Yeah. I keep seeing things that had never really occurred to me before. Such as at Doncaster Toy Fair on Sunday, I was walking around and saw this great big box about so big on someone's stall, and it's the Chad Valley 1960s Doctor Who. So it's Doctor Who again. Projector.
Sorry, chaps. Just give me 2 minutes. I just need to shake the dew off the lily.
Okay, you go do that. It's the projector, so it's a big lump of plastic with a light bulb in it, and you put strips in the side of it to project onto the wall. And it's all different scenes from Doctor Who. Now, I don't know if it's comic book scenes or if it's scenes from the episodes, but I'd never even looked at something like that before. But when I saw it, It's just the box art. The box art was stunning. Let's see if I can find one that I can show you. Chad.
I remember Viewmasters having a similar effect when I was little, because they just sort of took you straight into it because they're right there in front of your eyeballs. You know, just that idea that you could sort of click it and put it onto a different screen. I think it had a black hole disc. I was trying to think what it was that I was particularly sort of remembering about that, but I think it might have been another black hole.
Share screen.
DVD.
And there we are. That's it. This great big thing here. It's a show projector, and that box art just grabbed me like hell. I mean, those Daleks are amazing.
It's the primary colours based, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the colours on that TARDIS console are stunning. And I was just like, I need this. I've never seen it before, ever, but I need it. But they were asking 200 quid for it, which to me was an awful lot of money. For something that they had it wrapped in plastic film as well, so it's not like you could take it off and check the quality of it or the condition.
Right, it's
so
good and bad, isn't it? Because it's a lot of trust then, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. I mean, they are there every time, so I dare say that it's fine. But the funny thing is, had they have had it open so that I could take a look at it, I probably would have left with it. So it's probably just as well for me that it was wrapped up. So yeah, that's one that I always go after. In fact, what it's showing you there, that's another one. It's all Doctor Who for me. Let's have a look. Oh, it's taken me to eBay. Now this is certainly not. Are we seeing this? No, we're not. How can I?
Is it open it in a different window? Probably
opened it in a different window. Yes. I don't want to open in a new tab. I want to open in this tab. Right. Okay. Let's stop screen. Add screen. Share. This is going to be fun, isn't it? There we are. That's another one. Now I've already got one of these. It's certainly not worth 200 quid. This seller's having a laugh. But the Daleks in that particular film, you had a bright red one, you had a black one, and then the drones were this colour. And I've got a bright red one, I've got a black one, and I've got a blue one. I'd like another blue one. Just so that when I've got them set out on the shelf, I can have the two coloured ones in the middle, and then there's the drones either side. But I'm not paying 200 quid for it. It's worth about 50. So I'm not paying 200 for it. And I'll be good for 50 quid for something that I've got one of as well. So,
as I say, I mean, it's this interesting sort of eBay bubble when people price on the basis of what the last one apparently sold for. So if someone's held out and just paid a stupid price for it, then that's the price it tends to stick on eBay for limited, availability stuff. Anyway,
this isn't part of the show and tell.
What are you on your next? Who's next?
No, I'm not on the show and tell at the moment.
Oh,
but that's it. So it's not exactly like it's huge. I mean, it's not.
It's not a bad size though.
No, they're a nice size. I like the size of these. I like the finish on them and the quality. I actually have two red ones, which is why I've got one here and then one's downstairs with the others. But no, and there's certain things I'd like to. I've got, how much I like the Manta Force line, and I've got a boxed Manta Force. I've not yet gotten round to checking it to see whether or not it's complete. If it isn't complete, then I would like to get the bits to complete it, and then possibly start picking up other things from that line. Ed's gone. And I want more Mighty Max. I want more Mighty Max.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Mighty Max.
I love Mighty Max. They came out probably just at the end of me playing with toys.
Yes, so probably beyond the end of me playing with toys, I suspect. Yes,
I imagine so. But they're the thing. You know how much I love the Manta Force. It's the same company. It's the same size figures. They're just in a different
it's changed one.
format. Instead of it being a sci-fi format, it's a horror format. And I love the idea of them being a little, well, that kind of size thing. Yeah. I think the ideas behind them, the little adventures that you can go on with them, that calls to me. It really does. So I would like more of them. I've only got about 10 or 15 there. So yeah, I want more. Anyway, there's people talking. Daz says Microman Rolling Thunder is his, but he's not paying the £400 asking price on eBay. I get it. It's funny how things grab our attention that we may not have been interested in before. Yes, definitely.
Shiny.
That is pretty cool. Now, I'm not sure what it is you're referring to.
Context and everything.
Shiny things are good, and that's why I prefer Zoids 2 over Zoids.
The shiny things are breaky, apparently.
It's the chrome on them. And yay for Mighty Max. And I think we're caught up with the chat then. Right, so have you got many more things left to show, Andy? You mentioned earlier that you were going to run out.
I have 2 other things.
2 other things.
Okay.
Right, go for it then.
Do you want to go first? Do you want to go?
Yeah, go for it. I'm not bothered. Zip through them if you want. We can blast through them, or we can just wing it. See how it goes.
You want me to do my last 2 simultaneously then?
Are they something that would go together?
Yes-ish.
Yes-ish. Do you want to show them together, or do you want to hold out?
No, I'll show them together, but you may want somebody in the audience might want to shut their eyes for this because they might get annoyed with me. But so it's more corgi spaceships basically.
Okay.
Buck Rogers in the 25th and a half century.
Yep, I had that one.
It's a little baby starfighter.
Dinky one. Yeah.
This is the corgi one.
So this
is the baby corgi one, which is very much sort of your pocket money variety. But even so, it's still got hang on, if you can see this playability in the wings, because the wings do retract and come out again just by virtue of having a little slidey knob on the bottom of them there. So it's quite and it's still die cast, so it's these survive really, really well. I mean the engines are plastic and the wings are plastic, but and they've got the sort of the safety bar across the front as with the larger version. But it's still a really good, quite a detailed little model of the Buck Rogers Starfighter. I mean Corgi did so many tie-ins with various TV shows and stuff that were really sort of ahead of the game on that in many respects. I mean I know Dinky did a few with the Janssen line and Star Trek, but Corgi were doing all sorts, So the other one, and again with apologies. That's
an interesting coloured one. What year is that?
I've not seen that colour before.
No, well, I was the one that I had when I was little was white, and I saw this and I was thinking, but it is a Corgi Liberator from Blake 7 for those not familiar, and it does go this way. It flies that way with the pointy bits at the front. I used to fly it a lot when I was little that way, but it's not that way; it's the other way. Because the back of it is the star drive, the circular bit is basically the star drive section,
right?
And these are the sort of neutron blasters, I believe they were.
Good night, Daz.
Yeah, cheers, Daz. We'll catch you later on.
Thank you for joining us up till
now. So yeah, but again, it's Corgi. Does it have a year on it? Copyright BBC. I cannot read that because I'd probably have to use my my phone's camera to read it. I'm thinking it's 77.
Right.
I don't know if you can read that on your bigger screens. Can you see that?
I ain't got my readers, so I'd need to get reading.
Wonderful blur.
It's probably not gonna. If we won't track out well enough to.
I mean, I had the white one as a kid, but I don't know if it's a more recent one, but they did a larger version as well.
I think Corgi did some reissues. I've seen some in sort of globes.
Yes.
I think in sort of plastic globes.
Yeah.
And Corgi recently did. I know they did a bird of prey, which I've got thing on bird of prey, and it was awesome. Really quite big compared to many of the other scales of sort of die-cast kind of bird of preys that I've seen.
Yeah.
That was a recent. It was like an anniversary thing that they'd done. So I assume they did that sort of release of Blake 7 as well.
Right. I mean, I'll get one eventually, but it's just not. It's not an urgency at the moment.
No, I mean, this wasn't too difficult to grab. I don't think it was ridiculously expensive to grab, but of course the trick is getting one that's got the spikes.
Yeah.
Because those are always, and you do see a lot of them in very, very played with states, but this one isn't too bad.
Yeah,
which is kind of where I went for it.
Or chewed off or something like that.
Well, and it's the cracks. It's the cracks on the star drive section as well, around the edges there. Those can be quite common. But as I say, this one's not in bad nick. Touch wood.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think if I remember rightly. I think I've got a cough tonight. The Liberator itself, I think that got destroyed at the end of the first series.
Correct.
The Liberator.
We also saw a sister ship of it, I believe, as well. But yes, the Liberator did get clobbered. Then they got these. I want to say it's a Scorpio.
Yeah, it was like I remember it being like a brownie coloured, sort of like kind of boring looking ship, really. Yeah,
it was like a sort of more conventional Earth freighter, but with Aurak on board and stuff. And they had a sort of subterranean base vibe going on, I think.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to think. Because I mean, I've not seen it since childhood, but I did have a Blake 7 annual as well. Was it at the end of when the Liberator was destroyed? That was when they thought Blake had been killed, and then he came back, didn't he?
I think he did at one point. Yes, that's right. So I think Avon was in charge for a while.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, there. No, it's not that one. It's the other one. It's that one.
That's that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what did they call that again? That's it, Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't a bad show. I remember enjoying it as a kid.
I was meant to watch it, but I never have done.
It's quite dark. It was relatively dark for its day, I think, and it was very. I mean, the thing is, it's very wobbly, running around power plants, kind of, stuff. but it's they use what they had,
I would say I would equate it to possibly a more darker, maybe a bit more grown up version of Doctor Who at the time.
I couldn't watch anything like that.
So what's your next show then?
I don't know. I'm spoiled for choice.
I've got mine.
I was prepared after last week. Because last week I had my 3 picks out, and then you two kept grabbing things, and I was like,
sorry.
So this week I was prepared for it.
That is what they travelled in. That was my tub of choice this evening. So that's all you're getting.
Yeah, the Tupperware tub of delights.
Yes.
Right, we've talked enough Doctor Who. We've talked. What? Right, it's not toys. It's not toys, but it's something that's. In fact, earlier on, I was going to mention that we love the books. When I was replying to one of Gap's comments, we love the books, and if there's any books that I love in relation to any of these franchises, it has to be Heir to the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what Dave Filoni does with his new Heir to the Empire movie or whatever, it will never be this. And yeah, I wish it was a first edition. It's not a first edition. But yeah,
Was that when
this guy
that brings
said,
Thrawn in?
This is what brings Thrawn. Yes, and he's there on the cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I've got one of those signed by David Prowse back in the day.
Why?
Because he was in Forbidden Planet when I happened to be in Forbidden Planet as well. I think that was why.
But no, I absolutely love this book, and it was followed up by another fantastic book because it was the first part of a trilogy, wasn't it? And obviously, this is the second. And I don't know why my camera has gone out of focus. Ooh. I'll bring it up there. So that was the second one, Dark Force Rising.
Oh,
the
yeah.
trilogy was finished off with The Last Command. Try and get out from all those things that's there. You know, I should really, for when we're each showing things off, we should go to this, shouldn't we?
Yes, that would make sense, wouldn't it? I still mentioned it before, yeah.
That's something lesson learned, and we'll do this moving forward. We'll do this moving forward. So yeah, these books, if it hadn't been for these, you would not have got a special edition. You would not have got prequels, and there certainly wouldn't be sequels right now.
You know, I had, I probably still have actually, Han Solo at Star's End.
Oh no, that's an old one, 79.
As a properly, but it is a post original the films one. So
Brian Daly was the author.
Oh.
Was it Brian K. Daly? Brian Daly. Oh, how sad am I?
Just sad enough, clearly.
Brian Daly. Brian E. Daly, maybe?
I'd say if I were at home, I could probably run around like a mad thing and find it, but...
Bill Bailey?
A novel by Brian Daly, anyway, it says on the internet, so yeah, there we go. But yeah, this book introduced us to Grand Admiral Thrawn. It introduced us to Mara Jade.
Yes.
Other characters that people don't seem to remember are the Bothan Borsk Failure, Talon Card, who was an information broker, and well, many others. It even went on to introduce him more in the other books as well. Garm Bel Iblis was a really good one. Who used to serve in the Senate with Mon Mothma, and went his own way when he disagreed with some of her methods. There was backstory to every character in these books that wasn't necessary, but really did fill them out, and they were fantastic. They were fantastic. I don't think there's anybody that's read these that don't like them. And if anyone's slightly displeased, unhappy with the sequel trilogy, it's because you've exposed yourself to the wrong sequel trilogy. Because this is it. Get it read. And there's audiobooks of them, there's graphic novels, comics of them, so you don't even need to dive too deep into heavy reading. I will. How does every film start off in the original trilogy?
What, in the original trilogy?
In the original trilogy, every single film starts off with a certain thing.
Well, it starts off by 20th Century Fox, then Lucasfilm.
Well, the film itself.
And then it's like a boo, and then you get the opening crawl, and then it's Star Wars. It's always sort of like
doesn't it go along once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away? Does that initial thing, doesn't it? And then it does the crawl, doesn't it?
The first shot of each film.
It's a planet. So New Hope, it's Tatooine. Empire, it's thingy. It's Hoth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jedi.
In
Jedi,
the first scene of every film, there's a certain ship.
Oh, you mean a Star Destroyer?
Yeah. And they even get that in this.
Right.
Even down to that tiny little detail, which I don't think many people have ever really picked up on, but I always did. starts off on the bridge of a Star Destroyer. Even down to that, I think that's one of those little details that's unnecessary, but is
right.
Were they trying to get Luke's X-wing or something?
Oh, yes, they do capture Luke in his X-wing.
Well, they do eventually, but I think they try and tractor beam him, but then he jumps to hyperspace to try and to evade the tractor beam, but fries his engine doing it. I think, as I recall.
Have you read them then?
I read at least some of that first one, but I didn't read the subsequent ones. So I probably had like university stuff to do at the time or something, so I may run out of time to sort of get it finished. I don't know.
Waffler's got to go, Yup, so that we have a good rest of our stream. You want to stop and check it out. You can always catch up with it, the rest of it later. Take care. Good night.
You can.
I mean, it's interesting with those though, because I think that one of the reasons that Star Trek eventually came back was that they kept on doing a lot of Star Trek novels after the series ended. I mean, there are shed loads of them. I mean, there still are. I mean, it still carries on even now. But they kept the original series going through the books, so some of which I have, and they were really well done, actually. And the way they sort of describe stuff, and of course the books could actually do, in a sense, more than the series could at the time, technically.
Good night, Gap.
So yeah.
What time are we on anyway?
It's quarter.
Quarter 11.
How many folk we got left watching then?
We're down to 7 now. We were doing quite well earlier.
Well, 7's not bad. God, I mean.
No, we were up to nearly 20 earlier, which is the highest.
Right. Oh wow, cool.
Yeah. Sounds quite embarrassing, that, doesn't it? Really.
Not when you think of the statistics that are involved with it.
I know. So yeah, you can see quite clearly just how much I love Grand Admiral Thrawn, and it all spawns from that set of 3 books. And there were more books that involved him and whatnot.
He was in them because he was in Star Wars Rebels, wasn't he?
He was. Yes, they didn't quite get his character right, but it was all right. They've rebooted the universe since, haven't they? So it's not the same Throne.
Well, he's in it. Well, I mean, he's rumored to appear in Ahsoka, isn't he?
No, it's not a rumor. It's confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's confirmed. Yeah.
It's confirmed. He was in the trailer.
And it's the voice actor from Rebels that's playing him as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently, they are working towards some kind of Frankenstein version of this.
Replacing Luke with Ahsoka.
Yeah, Ahsoka will be playing the part that Luke had played.
Interesting.
Let's not. No, it's not. Does anyone else have anything else to show then?
Might do.
Ed smirking. Ed smirking. Let's make him big.
Right then.
I like this. Dinosaurs.
So
Dinosaur.
A plastic toy dinosaur. Now, as a kid, it was all robots and dinosaurs and spaceships and cars and trucks and things like that. This isn't a one from my childhood. This is a recent one. But as a kid, we'd go away for like long weekends or sometimes just a week on school holidays, and we'd end up going to a place called Barmston over on the East Coast. There was like a holiday camp thing there, and we'd go and stay there. And the shop that was on the camp, I used to go with 20 pence, but this was in the days before the 20p piece. And I'd go to the shop of the camp, and with 20 pence, I could get a small toy dinosaur. And they used to do tubs of Nutella, but they were like small plastic tubs of Nutella, and you got a small plastic spatula with it. So you peel the lid off and you could eat this Nutella with this spatula. And that's what I'd get from this little shop. Tub of Nutella and a plastic dinosaur. So what happens now is whenever my children go off on a school trip or if they go to the coast for the day, they always bring me back a toy dinosaur. So this is just one that I've got to hand. I've got probably half a dozen of them packed away somewhere, but this is the last one that they got me, which is a Brachiosaurus. Is that? But it isn't just this. I've also got this to show. Now this is mine from when I was a kid, and this is my Purnell's Book of Dinosaurs and Prehistoric Monsters. Now this shows you how old this book is because it's got anatomically incorrect dinosaurs in it. So that one on the cover there, that's an Allosaurus. And then on the back here, we have a Dimetrodon, which isn't a dinosaur, actually. But it always gets lumped in with dinosaurs, but a Dimetrodon isn't a dinosaur. You've got a Trachodon, and then we've got a woolly mammoth, and at the top there, we've got a Pteranodon. But yeah, this is my dinosaur book from childhood, and I used to love this book. I mean, the pictures in it and the photographs are just amazing.
Wow.
Now, these are all models. Now, interesting fact, the gentleman that made these models for this book is a gentleman that worked with Ray Harryhausen.
I was going to say, that one bottom left reminds me of something out of something.
Yeah, so we've got an Iguanodon, Protoceratops, Ankylosaurus, good old T-Rex, and then the Allosaurus here. But yeah, so I loved this book. This book was loved and well read. I'm just trying to see if I can find a date on it. Yeah, 1977 is this book.
Wow.
And it just basically goes through everything, like timelines and different trilobites, and then different as they crawled out of the seas and that, and on the dinosaurs. But yeah, there's some really good model work in this, because they're all models that were made. There we go. Brontosaurus. Back in the days when it used to be called a Brontosaurus, but they changed its name to a Patasaurus now. But they've actually recently changed it back to Brontosaurus again.
Was Diplodocus different then?
Yeah, Diplodocus is they're all sauropods, the giant sauropods that all lived in. Because that's the other thing as well, when they talk about dinosaurs and things like that, a T-Rex never met a Diplodocus or a Brontosaurus, because the T-Rex is from the Cretaceous period, and Diplodocus, Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus, they're from the Jurassic period. So they're separated by millions of years. Yeah.
Wow.
So a contemporary of T-Rex would have been a Triceratops. That they would have lived at the same time. T-Rex would have never have met an Allosaurus, because Allosaurus, again, he was the apex predator during the Jurassic period, where T-Rex was the apex predator during the Cretaceous. So you've got millions of years separating these species of dinosaurs, so they never met. Stegosaurus was Jurassic period, but you also had the Triassic, which came before the Jurassic. So it's Triassic, Jurassic, and then sorry, I'm waffling. I do apologize.
Educational, we like.
But yeah, so back to so this is this. I've got loads of dinosaur books from when I was a kid, but this is the one that I would look at and read all the time, just because it was like. And I can remember when I got it in Perranporth while we were on holiday in Cornwall, and there used to be a little bookstall that was in the local community centre, and that's where I got that from.
Cornwall does a good line in fossils, isn't it?
Sorry, what was that?
Cornwall's well known for its fossils, isn't it?
There has been some fossils found because of the tin mines. Because the tin mines, you have to dig really deep in the tin mines and stuff. Yeah. So there has been a lot of fossils and things like that found. So yeah.
I think my equivalent to that book, where I at home, is called The Evolution of Life. but it similarly dates from my childhood, and it does dinosaurs and so on in very much the way that one looks like it does.
Yeah. So that's my my second item. I have a third one, but I think we're running out of time, aren't we?
Oh, we probably are. Yeah. I'd say another 5 minutes, and we're about done.
Yeah.
Some wonderful people on the internet. It takes one to know one, though, doesn't it?
But I mean, we can hold us other stuff over for till next time.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
And plus, I think will you be back home by then, Andy?
I will be. Yes.
Yeah.
As I'm aware.
So you'll have a bigger selection of stuff to show off.
Indeed. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else? Anyone in the chat? Anything else briefly they want to ask or put to us before we sign off? Doesn't look like it, does it?
It doesn't. No, I think we're probably done for tonight.
I think we are. Yes. Is there anything we just need to round up? So it's going to be what? It'll be. I'm just trying to think. It'll be 2 weeks. So it's be the 19th, won't it? Wednesday the 19th.
That'll be about that, yeah. That sounds about right. 14 days from now, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we still sticking with the fortnightly format?
You can do for me, yeah. You can do for me.
What am I doing? Pressing the wrong button. There we go.
Yeah, can do. It works for me. I mean, because I mean, I know you've got stuff going off with obviously we Cosmic Toys and that, and I've got something going off. Have you any new videos coming up soon, Andy?
I want to start getting into my Babylon 5 Crusade reaction sort of videos, because it's one of the few components of Babylon 5 sort of pantheon of canon that I haven't quite covered yet, and then there's a new animated film imminent as well. I want to try and that would be quite cool if I could get those done in time for that. Well, I'm not sure I'm going to make it, but I'll see how it gets on. So it took me a solid 2 years to work through the original series. I mean, it's only 13 episodes worth, but I'm not going to hold my breath in terms of getting that done in the space of a month, which is what I've got left. So.
Yeah, the Crusade was an interesting show.
Yes. Well, I mean, as you might have seen, the last video I did was actually on the shenanigans that affected Crusade as a show, because until I read JMS's autobiography, I hadn't appreciated just how much the network was out to torpedo it as a show, and that's why it fell over after 13 episodes, basically, because he wasn't the sort of bloke to tolerate people messing with his creative integrity, and it was going actually way beyond that. They actually wanted it to fall over. So it was kind of inevitable what happened with it, but he didn't know that until a bit after the time. So he felt he was feeling quite guilty about it for a couple of years, but then he discovered that actually it wasn't his fault at all. So that was quite an interesting passage from his book.
Good stuff. I've still not jumped on. I've still not watched it yet. Well, I watched Elements and the first season, but not much past that, I'm afraid. I may get round to it one day.
When I get round to watching Starfleet.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I need to get that watched. I really do.
But, and then I think, I've got a collector's archive tomorrow night. I've still not finished editing that one yet. That's going to be a last minute one again. No, it's I've not. Well, to be fair, I've not been so well over weekend and early part of this week. So I've been, and I've had a few other bits and bobs on. So it's not far off. It's 3/4 done. So I'll have it done probably by lunchtime tomorrow and then uploaded. But that'll be going out at 8:30 tomorrow night, and that's with Tony, who's Soundwave SG1. he's known within Transformer community. He does a lot of kind of like tour and guide videos on YouTube for TF Nation and things like that. Nice chap, real nice chap. So there's quite a few different stuff we talk about. You know, he's not just Transformers. There are a couple of other stuff in there as well. He's also a big Star Trek fan, and I think he does mention Babylon 5 as well. I think I'm not right sure, but yeah. So that one's tomorrow night at 8:30 on my YouTube channel. YouTube. Yeah, my YouTube. So yeah, that's me. That's my my bit of pimping done.
And I've got a delivery unpacking tomorrow. I unpacked it today, but I didn't get the video edited in time for tonight. So, well, I got it edited in time, but by the time it was uploading, it wouldn't have been in very good quality.
Right.
It would have been a bit fuzzy. So for my usual 7:30 time, so I thought I'll set it for tomorrow night instead. So yeah, it's only a small one.
You'll put yourself down.
I only have a little one.
It doesn't matter how big the delivery is; it's the quality of it.
It's the quality of the package.
It's the quality of the delivery. Have you had those Jedi 40th Stormtroopers come in yet?
No, I haven't, and I've had a look with Diamond, and they've got no record of me ordering them.
All right.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Did you put an order in as well for classified eels? Have you have they listed them for you?
No, because they can't get GI Joes, can they?
Can they not? All right.
No,
so where do you get your classified stuff from then?
I can't now. The Pulse exclusives.
Right. Fair enough then. Fair enough.
Yeah. The only reason that other retailers get them is because they import them.
Right. Right.
Which is why their price is a little bit higher. It's import stock.
Yeah, that's royally pissed me off as that. That's my soapbox moment. Is that I mean, it's partly my fault because I completely forgot. I knew the pre-order for classified eels was coming up, and I just completely forgot about it. And I went halfway through doing some work, and it just came to me. I thought, oh shit! And I logged on, and they'd already sold out. You know, but with the usual thing, it's 3 per customer. But I think a lot of people blame Hasbro Pulse, but I think the collectors need to take a bit of responsibility as well, because I know it's going to be these bloody fat, overweight, neckbeard collectors with bloody ham fists going in, you know. But you know they've probably got 3 or 4 different accounts.
And the viewership just dropped by half.
I don't give a shit. They've probably got about 3 or 4 different Hasbro Pulse accounts, and they'll go in and they'll go in and they'll order loads. There probably will be. The Eels was an Amazon exclusive in the US, but what Hasbro usually do is with the Amazon exclusives, they put them on Hasbro Pulse in the UK. So, but it just hacks off. Don't get me wrong. I understand that there are people out there that do like to army build. I get that. I mean, I know myself. I do have multiple stormtroopers, but what I tend to do is when something like that comes up, I'll get one, and then I'll wait for more stock to come in, and then get a couple. You know, because my ethos on it is let everybody wet the beak. You know, people want these figures, so let everyone have a chance to get a figure that they want. But no, you get these bloody, you know, coming in with a big meat fists. It's like, no, I want that, that's mine, I'm having it kind of thing. And it's just like, but what I found interesting the other week when the eels sold out on Pulse, I already saw on eBay some of them going up and, you know, doubling up the price, you know. And it's just, it just pees me off, you know.
The way the game is played by some.
Lowbots just said there was a rumour that somebody ordered 40 on Amazon. It won't surprise me. Hopefully, Hasbro will release a load and these people will be stuck with them and they'll end up having to sell them for a loss. You know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. We'll see. I did. I bought my. Well, I'm buying it as an investment, but I made my first G.I. Joe classified order last week.
Oh, the Dragonfly.
Yes. Purely because everything else HasLab has doubled in price afterwards, so I thought, why not? So, keep your fingers crossed for me.
The one you should have backed was the Robo Skull.
Yes, I do regret that sometimes.
The Robo Skull Mark II. That's the one. If I'd have had money, if I'd have had a bit of extra spare money at that point, I think I would have done. But but I'm happy that. I mean, I know a few people that have backed it, and I'm really happy for them. I'm happy that they're going to get that. Because it will be a nice piece. But for the Action Force stuff that I've got, it doesn't particularly fit in with it. Even though I do know that Robo Skull has been specifically made so it will fit the 6-inch figures and the 3 3/4-inch figures as well. There's like a different cockpit insert for it, so you can use it for the 3 3/4.
Lobot's hit on something here that's my bugbear.
Yeah, no, he's right.
Unless something is a limited edition, nothing should ever go out of stock on pre-order. The whole point of a pre-order is so that a manufacturer can gauge how many to make.
Yeah.
That's the point of a pre-order.
But the thing is, if you remember, when they released the second part of the New Hope retro collection, they went on. The stock went on. It sold out, and then a couple of hours later, it went back up again as a pre-order. For delivery in July, so the people that ended up having to do that pre-order, they'll get their stuff hopefully this month. So it's a case of I think they do it to generate the interest and to get people going to the site. Yeah,
it's like sort of limited edition. Well, it's probably only limited in the sense that you get a certain number of ones that have a number attached to them, and then they'll just keep on producing them. So it's not really limited in that sense, is it?
That's why I don't mind if they say we're making 10,000 of this and they put it up for pre-order and they get 10,000 orders. I have no problem whatsoever with it going out of stock. But when they're not making limited editions and within an hour things are selling out, how can it sell out on pre-order? The whole point of a pre-order is so you can determine how many to make. Oh, well, I've had 10,000 orders. I'll make 12,000, so I've got a few spare on release.
But
we're not talking 10,000 here. We're talking millions.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Or hundreds of thousands at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt for a moment that that particular one, that classified Eels, it will come available again on Hasbro Pulse. Like I say, I just find it annoying that you get these particular collectors that go in and just it's just greed. They just go in greedily right at the start, and because all they can think of is themselves. They're very narcissistic. They're very narrow-minded. They just go in and say, right, I want that, I'm having that, and I don't care. And it's like, I don't know. It's just, it just gets my ass hair up. Maybe I'm just a bit more of a considerate person than what they are, but it's, and you get it with, I remember back in the days when you gaffily go to the toy store and stuff and to get stuff, you get people, it's like you're taking stuff off the peg and hiding it, in a different aisle somewhere, and then going back, and it's like, why would you do that? It's just if you buy the figure, and then if there's more than one, then leave the others for someone else to get, But anyway, balls to it.
Just realised I still had him on big screen.
It's all right. He was espousing. It's fine.
Yeah, I was on my soapbox.
You were. Someone kicked it out from under you now.
No, it's still there, but I'm just shutting up because I'll keep my mouth shut. I have strong feelings about certain aspects of the collecting community.
Wow.
It's like I saw a post today. You know
Okay,
the Black Series Scout Trooper helmet?
Yes.
Someone had picked one up and they were just outlining about what they were doing to it to make it 501st approved. And it's like, screw them. Who cares if it's 501st approved? You know?
Lobot sums it up there. That's people for you. What are you going to do?
Yeah. The world would be a nice place if it weren't for people. But
It will out-survive us.
You know, that it's not 501st approved. It's like, okay. If I was anywhere near that, I purposely do that. I would buy an off the shelf. I would buy an outfit and go to a parade just to wind them up. You know. I mean, especially when you see people at these 501st conventions or whatever. And I'm sorry, I have never ever once seen a 25-stone scout trooper in Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Never. So don't talk to me about that crap that it's going to be screen accurate. Oh, fuck yourselves. Sorry, I'm tired. I'm tired and I'm grumpy.
It's showing.
But I'm entertaining.
That's why the viewership's gone down.
Yeah, damn right it has. Yeah, come on, Lobot. Let's go for it.
We're going to have to change this from the Cosmic Council to the Yorkshire Twats at this rate.
But no, there we go. But no, no. Well, I don't jest. I do mean it, but I understand it's, each to their own. But there's just certain aspects that I find it. But I suppose there's elements that everyone find annoying about the things that they do and collect or within communities. It's just I just don't like the elitism in certain aspects about it.
Yeah, we're all here to enjoy ourselves, aren't we?
Oh yeah, definitely, And
as long as our enjoying ourselves doesn't harm anyone else, what's it got to do?
Yeah.
Anyway? We don't need approval.
Yeah, no, you make things so you can include people, not exclude them.
I think it's the same as grading as well.
Mm.
Paying a small fortune to send something off and get someone's opinion on it and stick a number on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't get me wrong. Yeah, I would like to have some acrylic cases for some of my Transformers.
I get they having it encapsulated so it preserves it.
Mm.
I get that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I don't need someone else's opinion.
No.
Who appointed them?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
They're doing it for a business.
Yeah. And also, sorry, Andy, come on.
So I was going to say, I suppose the thing with the grading is, from my point of view, I suppose it would be, if you were looking to sort of kind of preserve value, it's like an authenticity thing, isn't it? To say this is not a knockoff, effectively. I suppose as much as it is to do with the actual quality of the item, it's also saying this is actually a quality item. You know what I mean? But as you say, I don't know.
But also, it's only worth what people are willing to pay for it.
Oh, as ever, yeah.
And
with comic grading as well, you can send signed comics off and have them graded. Now they'll never be fully authenticated. They have different coloured banners for the piece of paper at the top of the comic slab. One particular colour for ones that they've watched them sign, and they know it's guaranteed to be that person. But then they have another colour where they say that they've authenticated it and they believe it to be an official, legit signature. It's still only someone's opinion. It could still be a forgery for all anyone else knows.
But it'd be interesting to know a signed comic that's been often being graded will never be able to be a 10, graded as a 10, because the comic's been defaced.
Yeah, logically.
They don't grade anything 10 anyway.
So there's nothing that's ever graded a 10.
They graded a batch of comics 10, and it was literally straight off the production line. They didn't even check them.
Right.
And they graded them 10, encapsulated them, and sent them out because they were pre-ordered to be 10s.
Right. Okay.
And everyone complained about that because they've not actually checked them. It's like, well, if we check them, then we're going to incur some damage to them, which will prevent them from being a 10. It's like,
Right.
so those 10s aren't 10s then, are they? Because you haven't checked them to see if they're a 10.
Self-fulfilling prophecy, that, isn't it?
Yeah. So they abolished the idea of a perfect 10.
Right.
Now I think the best you can get is a 9.9. And
But again, it's
most
all
people strive for a 9.8.
Yeah, it's all crap. It's all
It's someone's opinion.
Yeah.
It's like making a new fresh bed and sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
I've never heard it put that way, but you're not wrong.
Well, you know what? The thing I was thinking, Lobot, was that with Transformers, surely you'd need 2 figures.
Yes.
Because you can't transform it once it's in an acrylic box.
No.
So wouldn't you want to have the figure and the transformation mode? And hell, if you've got a triple changer, you're really stuffed. You know?
Yeah.
Don't have a 6 changer done, will you?
I mean, that's why I think in my case I would like the acrylic cases, so then it can be protected, but then I can still open it up and then still, mess about with the figure if I wish to do so.
Well, you could do with it for your first 12.
My first 12 Palatoy.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I think I should send them off. I really do think I should send them off, yeah. Yeah. I need to join that Facebook group. That's Star Wars. Echo Base, that's the one, yeah. Yeah. Just to wind that.
Wouldn't last 5 minutes.
And I'd be happy to not last 5 minutes. I just can't do it. I can't do with people like that.
Turns out stormtroopers can hit stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, let's not make no bones about it. The toys. Yeah. I don't care if you want to call them collectibles or what. They're not. The toys. Yeah. And they're supposed to be fun. Yeah. Don't take it too seriously. Because at the end of the day, you can't take them with you when you go. So just enjoy them. No, just enjoy them.
We'd all need a very, very big coffin to take them with us. A double decker.
You can't. If you're going to be cremated, you can't take them with you because they won't burn you with plastic in.
This one's got to be 8 foot deep, as they.
No. Oh, dear.
I think on that note, we should call
it.
Yes,
time to go. Time to go. So, right. Well, thank you to everyone that came and watched and commented. We appreciate it very much. And for those that turned off when I started ranting, you missed a blinder.
They'll get you on catch up.
They'll get me on catch up.
We'll get you on catch up.
Who's that wanker?
Yeah. Right. Good night, chaps. It's been
good night.
Really
Thanks a lot. Take care, everyone. All the best. Have a good weekend.
Right. How do I do this now?
There we
go. Good night.
Well, I think we press the leave button. I do.
Right, yeah. Good night.